Hi, welcome back to the Chinese Medicine Podcast. My name is Marie Hopkinson. I'm a Chinese herbalist and an acupuncturist. And today I'm going to be talking about how to best prepare yourself for the coming new year for each different element type. Let's get on to the metal type.
This is a top to a very special because if you can see, the numbers all go to 11. You see, most blokes, be playing at 10. You're on 10 here, all the way up, all the way up, all the way up. You're on 10 on your guitar. Where can you go from there?
So the metal type or the alchemist, what are the strengths of metal? Well, metal tend to be very orderly and very organised people. So they probably purchased their planner for 2021 much earlier than everybody else. They have their calendar organised. They like to know things in advance. If you're just tuning into this and you've missed the other bits of, like I did mention that I've got a video on these different types, a full-length video on each type. So that'll go into the types in more detail. And if you're not sure what your type is, you can also go on to, I'll put the link in the description below for a test that you can do. And there's a book that test is based on. The book's called Between Heaven and Earth. And that is a Chinese medicine book about this stuff. So if you're a metal person and you tend to be organised and orderly, I would say to you in 2021, how could you utilise this skill better? Like, how could you really leverage this skill? Like, where would you get the most bang for buck out of this? Because you're very good at this. And some people are not very good at this. And you probably get frustrated by other people that are not. But it's, you can kind of be a person that brings calm to the chaos. You can kind of be a person that brings order to things. You tend to be not easily flappable, right? You're not easily in a frenzy of things. I'm not 100% sure, but I would think that someone like Jordan Peterson would be a metal type of person, because when I listen to his interviews, he tends to be very calm. He takes his time and he just answers questions, and he's not, needing to have an argument with someone for, he's not getting into a frenzy. And a lot of his psychological stuff, which is not necessarily his personal ideas, but they are based on order, right, and chaos, and bringing order to the chaos. Anyway, that was for free. This is something I was thinking of when I was making these notes of this video. Metal people tend to be very good at boundaries. So that could be something that you might be able to leverage this year, how you're good at keeping boundaries or helping others to get boundaries in their life. I think a challenge for metal people this year is going to be to pick your battles. Metal element people like things to be the same. They probably don't like change they certainly wouldn't want change for just change's sake, right? There'd have to be a reason and purpose for that change. They wouldn't just come in and rearrange the bedroom and all the furniture in it just for the sake of it. And with so much change coming in this year, in 2021, I think metal element people need to pick what they're going to fight for, because it can kind of seem like, well, we need to fight for everything to restore the order because everything's changing. But you wouldn't be able to do that. And there's hopefully enough metal people around to kind of fight for order in the places where we need it to be fought for. And on the other hand, there's other types of people that are like, no, we need the chaos or we need the change to bring about something new. But there are some things where we probably need to fight for. And what are those things that are worth fighting for? I think that's what you need to ask yourself as a metal person. What are the things I want to fight for? What are the things I'm willing to put my effort and my energy in? Because you won't be able to do everything. What are the weaknesses of metal element types? So they tend to be highly committed and loyal people. Now, you might say that's not a weakness, Marie. It's a great strength, but within every strength there's a weakness. And the weakness of being highly committed and loyal is sometimes metal types of people can just keep going down a track that's not beneficial to them in a relationship. And I think maybe you need to, if you're a metal person, there might be something you need to let go of. And there might not be as well. I'm not trying to say there is. Just because you're loyal to something doesn't mean you have to let go of it. But that can be a place where you're blindsided easily, right? Which means it just kind of comes at you from nowhere kind of thing. And you think, where did this come from? Because you're so loyal, you don't see the need, to change, or, you just stick with something because you're loyal. Maybe Chris Brown is a metal person. Because he wrote that song, These Hoes Ain't Loyal. I don't know. You need to give yourself space to let things go if you are going to let something go, right? And grief is the emotion associated with metal, grief and sadness as well. So that would be my advice to you. Like, it's good to kind of have a clean out before the start of the new year, right? But metal element people tend to want to hold on to things. And in a disorder, like in a real state of disorder, metal element people can be hoarders because they just can't let go. They literally can't let go of anything, right? Or things that have no purpose or no use, no utility. They just can't let those things go. Now that's a very extreme, right at the extreme state of it. Somewhere in the middle is a person that likes things to be the same, likes the order of things, but their tendency is to kind of just let's not make a ruffle, like let's not change things too much. Yeah, so metal element people might be highly committed to things that it may not be benefiting you anymore, and that's something I wanted to mention. The last one for metal would be, as a weakness, the striving for perfection. So this can be good because you're probably a really good proofreader. You probably produce very high quality stuff, but that striving for protection, that striving for perfection can lead to a lot of disappointment in metal people because nothing's ever good enough. Even if it's really good, it's never, because you're striving for perfection, it's almost impossible to attain. You're almost like flick off the compliments people give you. Like, they're like, wow, that's amazing, that's really good. And you're like, oh yeah, because you can see just one, all you can see is the flaw. All you can see is the thing that's not right about it. And that can be beneficial, let's say, in some jobs, right? Where your job is to pick out the flaws, where your job is to see the one thing that's not right about it. Like, one of these things is not like the others, and that's your job to kind of do that. I kind of think about that when I've been recording some of my music, right? Like, some people have better ears than others, and some people can really hear stuff, and I'm like, I can't hear that. Like, some people I've worked with have got really good ears, and some people in the music industry got terrible ears because they've just been in bands all the time and they can't hear, and their ears are kind of cactus from all the gigging that they've done. There's some people that got really, really, like, they can just hear little noises that you're like, I can't hear that little noise. And that little noise will annoy them until they get rid of it, until they can make it perfect, right? And that can be very beneficial in a job like that. Let's say you're a surgeon. You want a surgeon who's perfect. You don't want a surgeon who's 98% accurate. You want 100% accuracy. So this isn't necessarily a bad thing, but there are some things where you don't need that level of perfection in. And I think as a metal person, if you are a metal person, well, you probably are because you're watching this bit of the video, maybe that perfectionism is benefiting you in some areas of your life, but it's not necessarily benefiting you in other areas of your life. Does it need that attention to detail? So, because it could be a very disappointing kind of life, because it's never going to live up to those expectations. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. So my advice would be to pick which things in 2021 will be perfect, and the things you can let go on a little bit. So look, I hope this series has been useful and helpful to you. And if it has, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like. Let me know in the comments if this has helped you, how you're feeling about this series. I've had lots of good feedback about the start of the series. I just want to make a little video before New Year to kind of help you with your planning and with your ideas for New Year. I hope you're doing well, and I look forward to seeing you again on the next video soon.